Meanwhile, all the men outside are desperately trying to get in where all the chicks are, although I don't know why these two would want that. The fight inside heats up and Chipmunk Supreme pukes blood before getting some major CTE from bouncing her head on the stone floor. She's stopped by Priya Patel, who says, "No thank you, do not come again," before she does some nonsense while the two men do all the killing. After all of that, however, Chipmunk Supreme still escapes, but not before adding to the mounting accusations of racism by killing a black guy. And we've now gone a full season since this ogre was killed and somehow returned without anyone bringing it up. After the ritual, Egg gets engaged, and she reacts how most women react to getting engaged.
Where are you going?
I have the ring. I'm accepted now.
And storms off to go lord this over her single friends. Wisdom sneaks a peek at Landchop's sword in the bathtub, and he guides her hand onto the shaft. She asks what he's afraid of, and he tells her he's been scarred by chemical warfare.
And that's why I can't sleep. It's because every time that it's quiet, I can hear. I can hear.
What can you hear?
And they are dying over and over again.
Perrin and Leshrek fight off a magic axe that's flying across the room saying, "Can I axe you something?" Egg gets stabbed before the real Rand breaks all the mirrors, and Egg is left with her yolk leaking all over the place. And Landchops gives Wisdom a ring, but he's too lazy to put it on her finger. The queens come to see the Amerlin seat, preceded by a few totally straight guys, which is ironic because the queen's name is more gays. While Landchops and Rando play with swords, Farmer Moraine finds evidence of Rand's choking fetish. Matt gets his magical horn confiscated by the principal, and he says, "Well, that blows." Then three Aes Sedai women display their mastery of passive aggression and aggressive niceness. Out in the desert, Egg is talking shit on the gray-haired Aiel, and she can totally hear her. Matt duels the princes and gets the upper hand, but surely he'll be no match for them once they hold hands.
Let our powers combine.
Later on, Moraine politely tells the Sand People that she's tired of listening to the botched Botox boss over here.
You're very comfortable answering questions we have no interest in the answers to.
And she follows this up by shushing the other one.
If you do not go through Viridian, you...
They all reach the crest of the hill and find a city blanketed in marijuana smoke. Rand goes back in the past and becomes Ginger Momoa, who sees his wife, Rand's mom, dead from the battle. He takes another step and becomes Rand Stark, who was there when Ruidian first legalized weed, and he meets with an old woman handing out giant pearls of wisdom. Another step, and now he's a hobbit with the Tree of Destiny back when it was just a sapling. Meanwhile, Moraine is looking for the source of the music at the center of all this weed smoke, and she comes across someone who's gotten too high and is doing interpretive dance like they're at Burning Man. Another step, and he's Rand Atreides on Arrakis, where the Aes Sedai give him the pearl and he adopts the way of the Queef. Another step, and he's a Jedi Padawan, and it looks like the construction of the Death Star has been completed. The farmers outside are auditioning for Rebel Moon Part 3 when there's a terrorist attack on the Death Star, or as some would call it, a New Hope. Moraine is way too high, so Rand carries her out and the episode comes to an end. Off in Afghanistan, Rand and the Fremen arrive at the seat of the Tarded. Their words, not mine. And here, everyone is whooping and hollering like the Tarded people they are. While Egg does some dream walking, an incredible power that she uses to try on clothes. Priya Patel's remaining warder is still sad over losing his lover, and he storms off to kill Chipmunk Supreme, and Priya's like, "No, I break up with you," and she cuts off their bond. And Landchops interrupts her with some product placement for his alcohol brand, Dick Her Quicker Liquor. Smokestack visits two imprisoned Black Aja sisters. One is handling captivity okay, but Jabba is not. Perrin and crew free the girls, but he finds Matt's smoking hot mom still smoldering. The White Cloaks close in on Priya, but her warder returns and lives out one of his fantasies, finishing off like 6 guys in 30 seconds. And Moraine turns to leave without scissoring, and Mother says no, that's unacceptable. Mother tries to kiss her, but Moraine says no, but no means probably, and they still end up making out. Then she wanders the streets looking for a potential baby daddy, but when she fails to find one, she nestles up against the statue's crotch and lays her head down on its penis. Wisdom, Elaine, Matt, and Min are playing dress-up, and it looks like they, and this entire town, all raided Johnny Depp's wardrobe. Then this guy, long forgotten by this show, and the incel minotaurs, long forgotten by this show, look down menacingly on the town. And while we're on the subject of long forgotten characters, Matt randomly finds the struggling musician from 2 seasons ago, Tom, Don't Call Me Bombadil, Marilyn. Egg can't hold back a vicious fart that obliterates the Sand Ladies, and even she thinks it's kinda funny. Then Chipmunk Supreme gets some form of justice for the travesty that was Snow White when she murders one of the 7 dwarves. 2 creepy twins come to watch Priya die, but in actuality, they're magic, and Priya says like 12 words to them, and now they know how to heal her, which is as dumb as it sounds, and it makes the stupid one power of this universe look trivial. Perrin and Hoey Deschanel trauma bond, and then they start to trauma bang when Priya walks in and says, "Looks like someone's about to come again." Johnny Depp's wardrobe manager and nipple polisher brings Matt one last accessory. Elsewhere, Egg confronts Rand for banging Lanfear, but he comforts her by telling her her small brain can't comprehend his existence. We open up in 2 Rivers, where all these dipshits are preparing for war, and they get some unexpected visitors when the Way of the Queef people show up. But Perrin tries to sway him to stay by telling him this town is full of easy women. The ogre Leshrek is writing a book when the Aiels mock his use of Oxford commas like the stupid, ignorant sluts they are. Meanwhile, Perrin shows Matt's sisters pictures of Matt blowing things, telling them there's many more where this came from, but what really blows is that the incel minotaurs have arrived. Out of nowhere, Priya takes the first hard shaft of her life through the chest, and in the same instant her warder gets explosive diarrhea. And while all the men get slaughtered, this line of strong women vows they'll never be penetrated. Leshrek is trying to tear down the waygate to his swamp from the inside, but he's dismayed because he thought this would be a lot easier, like in the Minecraft movie. Hours into battle, Perrin realizes this episode is named Golden Eyes after him and not James Bond. Leshrek still can't make a dent on the waygate, and with a horde approaching him, he decides to collapse their bridge. But he's new to Minecraft, and he screws up the maneuver in hilarious fashion. Perrin corners Padon Fane and says he can die right here, right now, or take some crack and get out of here. And he chooses the crack. And for once, crack saved a town, as the 2 Rivers lives to toil and squalor for another day. Suwan is in her hammer pants, which confirms this really is a flashback, and everyone is brought together in ceremony by a sister who, can now only compete in women's sports in Maine. Lanfear meets with the other Aiel tribe, and hey look, it's Riz from the Halo show. Damn, she's gonna be out of another job soon. And Lanfear sexually assaults this guy. Chipmunk Supreme can't find the right necklace to go with her bracelets, but Wisdom knows a slave collar when she sees one. And he says he can take memories away from Matt that he doesn't want, so Matt begs him to get rid of the memory from that one time parents sat on his lap and it moved. While Wisdom is drowning, she hears the voice of her daughter, that doesn't exist, asking her to make her a damned grilled cheese, and this gives Wisdom the strength to part the damn sea like she's fucking Moses. But all she gets is a Julius Caesar moment, getting stabbed 30 times. And you know, it's been an exciting day with a lot going on, so she lays down to take a nap. Back in the White Tower, the new Mother Superior accuses Suwan of working with Moraine, and Suwan says, "I didn't know scissoring was considered work." Then she heroically proclaims her love for Moraine, as Moraine is busy, taking it hard from behind from Lanfear. And Lan attacks Lanfear because he's jealous that when people type his name in the search bar, hers comes up first. Meanwhile, Rand is sick of this shit and just starts threatening everyone, saying now you'll see my true power, as he really ramps things up by breaking out into interpretive dance. Back at the White Tower, somehow Suwan is still talking, while Lanfear is still sticking it into Moraine hard. Rand has finished his routine, and even God is crying at its beauty, and everyone bends the knee to Rand as he's danced his way into his doubters' hearts. Now that she's the Amerlin seat, Smokestack can finally redecorate this office, which was all she really wanted. Everyone across the world is in awe of Rand's power, except for Egg, who continues to be a massive bitch all the time. And what better note to end the season on?